It looked like Kevin Stefanski is speaking to the media after another loss. God,
we have to sometimes remember that these are very, very young men. People come into the NFL with different levels of maturity. These are young guys, and not all of them speak the same way. And some of them, I think, just have different personalities too. I don't think Shedeur meant any harm. Shedeur is a dynamic player. He's got a lot of personality. He has done a lot of things right here.
Mary Kay Cabot just dropped a bombshell, and the fallout's landing right on Dillon Gabriel. After that Vikings loss, the poor dude's catching strays like he called the wrong play himself. Now, out of nowhere, Shedeur Sanders' name is flying around like the league's biggest plot twist no one saw coming. What did Dillon even do to deserve this heat? Or maybe the real question is, what didn't Shedeur do? This whole situation's turning into straight-up football cinema.
And then they get him on the field, and it doesn't go well. And I'm not going to say that it's going to go that way for Dillon, even though I have my reservations. But isn't that a lot to put on a third-round pick that's a rookie, hoping that you maybe found your franchise quarterback on a guy that a lot of people were scratching their heads that you made that pick to begin with?
It depends on the player. It all depends on the player. And I do think there is something to be said for a player who has started so many games.
It was supposed to be just another Sunday. Same script, same heartbreak, same Minnesota misery with a side of cold drizzle. But nah, this one blew up different. Somewhere between that fourth quarter meltdown and the post-game chaos, Mary Kay Cabot clearly snapped. She'd had enough and came swinging with fireworks.
It's hard to come up the learning curve. And this is the first time in his life and his career that he's had to be a backup. And it's difficult. He's trying to be patient. He's trying to do the right things, but it cannot be easy for him to believe that he can go out there and start football games and have to be the third string quarterback.
And this wasn't some light frustration over a messy game. Nah, Mary Kay went full nuclear. The kind of outburst that makes the microphones shake and the locker room go dead silent. She was out there rewriting her own version of the 10 Commandments, starting with, "Thou shalt not let Dillon Gabriel touch a football again." This wasn't a critique anymore. It was straight-up Judgment Day with a press badge.
Shedeur Sanders get great news from former NFL players. And also, the NFL chose to advertise Shedeur Sanders over there in London. But he ain't good enough to play for the Cleveland Browns. But you chose to advertise him in London? Oh, we finna talk about this.
The guy threw what? 2 bad passes? Missed 1 open read? Maybe a stalled drive or 2. But if you listened to Mary Kay, you'd swear Dillon personally crashed Wall Street and deflated every football in the league. She's pacing like a storm, hands flying everywhere, breaking down game film like she just uncovered alien evidence. "Where's the poise? Where's the spark?" she blasts. Except those ain't questions anymore. They're straight-up declarations.
I tell you, dog, Kevin Stefanski is back in the headlines, man, and it's for all of the wrong reasons. He's looking real spooky. A lot of people really want to see Shedeur Sanders in there at quarterback. Will we see him? As of right now, I just don't know. I can't yay or nay us seeing Shedeur. One thing I can tell you is that whenever Shedeur get his chance to go, he's going to be ready. I can almost guarantee you that. Now, Dillon Gabriel had his bowed out. A lot of them flats, check down passes, that ain't gonna cut it, man.
Because apparently, the Spark packed its bags and dipped straight to Colorado, with Shedeur Sanders leading the charge. The second that final whistle blew, his name lit up the timeline like it was trending before the loss even hit the scoreboard. Suddenly, Vikings Twitter wasn't stressing missed tackles or blown coverage. Nah, they were talking about Shedeur, the so-called quarterback of destiny, cape fluttering in the wind, ready to rescue Minnesota from eternal mid. And leading that whole fantasy parade? Mary Kay herself, acting like the confetti's already falling. Meanwhile, poor Dillon Gabriel's still sitting there, helmet halfway on, looking like he just got written out of his own story. A week ago, he was promising and developing. Now, he's replaceable, expendable, and probably should start checking Zillow for his next city, because NFL fans forget faster than a Snapchat story. Mary Kay's rant gave everyone a brand new highlight reel to obsess over, and you could feel it. That instant shift. Post-game questions weren't even about the score anymore. They were all about what's next and who's next. And let's be real, that name might rhyme with Shedeur. The funniest part? The Vikings didn't even play that bad. But logic and football fans go together like oil and water. Lose one game and suddenly everyone's scouting replacements like it's some reality show called Quarterback Swap NFL Edition. And front and center of that chaos, Mary Kay, clipboard in hand, eyes wild, running on pure, unhinged, visionary energy. But here's the kicker. She's not just tearing into Dillon's throws, she's analyzing his vibe, talking about leadership, presence, command of the offense. Basically just fancy ways of saying he didn't look cool enough while losing. And that's exactly when the comparison train hits full speed.
What do you want me to really say about Dillon Gabriel over the next 3.5 hours? Well, he was composed. Great. You know how he conducted himself? He conducted himself how a career backup should conduct himself, where you just hope that you're able to hold down the fort until the regular starter comes back. The problem is, we don't have a regular starter that comes back. Well, we do, but nobody wants to see him. So nobody wants that to happen. So here we have to hope that Dillon Gabriel, a guy who is certainly limited, a guy who's smart enough to probably be a coach in the NFL someday, has to go out there and conduct an offense. And we just little. We have to hope that Quinshon Judkins is able to carry us into the end zone, and we don't have a holding call on.
What about Shedeur Sanders? She fires off, or more like implies, since nobody's bold enough to cut her off mid-rant. Shedeur's been lighting up college football like a 4th of July finale. His highlights explode online, and his social posts get more love than half the league's stat sheets combined. Suddenly, this whole thing ain't about footwork or reads anymore. It's about aura. And according to Mary Kay, Dillon's giving off serious intern-on-break energy, like a dude still trying to remember the Wi-Fi password. The fan base? Completely split. Half of them are fully sold, ready to order Shedeur jerseys and throw a welcome parade through downtown Minneapolis. The other half's preaching patience, saying Dillon just needs time, that the system's the real issue. But patience in the NFL? That's extinct. What makes it sting even worse is how close it was. Painfully close. It's like losing a spelling bee on the last word, only to find out the judge's therapist already has your number saved. The Vikings had their moments. The defense stood tall, the offense found rhythm, until it didn't. And when that rhythm broke, every missed throw turned into Exhibit A in the Why Shedeur Should Save Us case file. So there she is again. Mary Kay Cabot, turning a post-game breakdown into her own personal TED Talk.
Touchdown, and the Browns win the Super Bowl. Browns win the Super Bowl. Brown wins the Super Bowl. But in reality, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to break down this game with receipts, everything, no hate, nothing at all. We're going to be very fair. Salute to Shedeur Sanders. We've been proven correct again and again. At this point, I'm not a prophet anymore. I'm just a guy that can see past the ineptitude.
The wild part is, she's not even wrong about Shedeur's talent. The guy's electric, calm under pressure, athletic, confident, everything you dream of in a modern quarterback. But come on, this is the NFL, not some fan fiction crossover where you just swap QBs like you're changing Wi-Fi networks. Still, logic doesn't trend. Hot takes do. And Mary Kay's take? It's scorching hot. Soon the convo snowballs out of control. Pundits pick it up, talk shows debate it, and before you know it, someone on national TV says, Shedeur to Minnesota with a straight face. Suddenly that wild theory's the only thing anyone's talking about. Never mind that it all started over 1 third down incompletion. It's pure football gossip gold, and it's spreading faster than a locker room rumor. Dillon Gabriel's trying to handle it with class, staying calm, saying all the right things, but you can see it stings. 1 week, you're the rookie with promise. The next, you're the temporary seat warmer until Shedeur shows up. Every question he gets feels like a setup. How do you feel about the comparisons? Translation: how do you feel about being replaced before you've even unpacked your bags? And through it all, Mary Kay's fire only grows hotter. She's breaking down game film, studying body language, maybe even analyzing the pregame playlist at this point. You half expect her to start decoding handshakes for leadership clues. It's like watching someone become a meme in real time. Every highlight clip turns into evidence. Every sideline smile becomes proof of greatness.
Arms down the field, move the football at a high level. Can he do it? I don't believe he can. Man, it just is what it is. Now, Kevin Stefanski, like I stated, speaking to the media, right?
But for, a young player in that environment versus that defense to take care of the ball make the plays he made, I thought was a lot of positives with plenty to clean up, and that's what he will do, and that's the mentality he has, is certainly to be a player that continues to get better week in and week out.
By Wednesday, the internet's already gone wild. There's a full fan edit of Shedeur Sanders rocking purple and gold, because nothing screams hope like a Photoshop dream. Analysts are split right down the middle, some calling it visionary, saying it's time the Vikings inject some youth, swagger, and energy into that tired playbook. The rest? Rolling their eyes so hard you can practically hear it through the screen. Another college phenom people swear can fix a broken franchise overnight. Yeah, the NFL's seen that movie before, and it usually ends with a rookie running for his life behind a shaky O-line. But that's the rebound energy in full effect. You lose, you panic, and by Thursday, the fan base is in full essay mode. Comment sections flooded with 5-paragraph dissertations about how Shedeur would fit perfectly in Minnesota's scheme. By Friday, TikTok's blowing up with clips comparing Dillon's passer rating to Shedeur's college stats, like they even play in the same galaxy. By Saturday, talk radio's on fire, and come Sunday, Dillon's trending again, but only because someone turned him into a before and after meme.
On paper, 2 touchdowns, no turnovers, that sounds solid. But if you really watch the game, then you know the truth. But let me give you a little bit of snippets. Basically, the scoreboard today, ladies and gentlemen, was 21-17. And I woke up early to watch this game. A lot of you guys did it, and it's understandable. They're playing these games in London, which I'm cool with. The NFL is trying to expand their brand, much like the NBA, to turn it to an international game. I've been dreaming of that, so I got no issues with that. Now, I just showed you Dillon's touchdown, but this was Dillon in warm-up getting ready for the game. Like I'm a human being, bro. When I seen this warm-up, I kind of wanted Dillon to win and do good.
And the cycle keeps spinning. Outrage, fantasy, debate, denial, rinse, repeat. The NFL might as well trademark it at this point. Meanwhile, Dillon's just out here trying to learn a new playbook while half the country's busy photoshopping him into trade rumors. And of course, Mary Kay doubles down. She's got that I told you so energy locked and loaded before anyone even dares to disagree. Yeah, the loss hurt, but the idea of Shedeur? That's her rebound. That's the shiny hope she's gripping like it's gospel truth. And honestly, that's what makes it hilarious. Everyone else is calling for a coaching overhaul, yet there's Mary Kay defending her quarterback crush like it's a mission straight from the football gods. By next week, it's no longer even about the Vikings. It's about the myth of Shedeur Sanders. The man hasn't taken a single NFL snap, and people are already talking like he's the chosen one, the franchise savior, the cultural reset, the redemption arc, all wrapped in one shiny headline. It's the rebound effect in its purest form. When your team lets you down, you don't process, you project, you don't heal, you hype. And Mary Kay Cabot just gave that whole emotional roller coaster its most entertaining chapter yet. Because deep down, everyone in Minnesota knows what's really going on. The heat'll cool off. Dillon will get another chance. The noise will fade. And when it does, folks will realize this wasn't some deep football analysis. It was a coping mechanism dressed up as commentary.
More funny though, the guy yelling at him to the right or the dude to the left that just can't contain himself, that just wants to interrupt. And look, y'all got mad at me for saying it yesterday. Even people in Cleveland are saying it. He did okay. He managed the game. He got them just enough. The minute that he took a chance at the end of the game, he threw a pick. Got a second chance, and then he went short. Every pass he threw wasn't even over 5.5 yards. That's safe. That's okay. That's taking no chances and relying on everybody else to do their job.
But until that moment comes, the internet's on fire, takes flying everywhere, and Shedeur Sanders is living rent-free inside the Vikings' imagination. Mary Kay might have gone off the rails, but let's be real. She just said out loud what half the fan base was already thinking. And in the NFL, where every week feels like a soap opera wrapped in shoulder pads, that might just make her the realest one in the room. Because in the end, it's not about Dillon, not about Shedeur, not even about the Vikings. It's about that eternal football truth. When a loss hits hard enough, reality doesn't stand a chance against the rebound fantasy. And that's exactly where the NFL lives, right in the middle of the chaos. Within an hour, fan pages are pumping out mock draft graphics, talk shows are debating whether Shedeur should accept the challenge like he's being knighted into quarterback royalty, and meanwhile, Dillon Gabriel can't even grab a coffee without someone whispering about the writing on the wall. You can almost feel what he's thinking. I lost one game, not my career. But that's not how it works anymore, because in the rebound world of NFL fandom, one bad Sunday can spark a full-blown quarterback revolution.
Sanders, the quarterback of the Cleveland Browns, getting good news from former NFL players. Well, the Cleveland Browns chose to go with Dillon Gabriel this weekend against the Minnesota Vikings in London. Dillon Gabriel did a decent job, but the team still lost. So by choosing Dillon Gabriel to start this game, that lets me know that Shedeur Sanders will be starting soon.
Mary Kay's rant didn't just roast Dillon, it baptized the whole fan base in pure chaos. And Shedeur, he's probably somewhere just chilling watching all this unfold while sipping his water like a man who accidentally started a movement. He doesn't need to say a word. His silence is doing all the heavy lifting. Now every highlight he drops gets treated like a coded message to Minnesota. Every throw, a sign, every grin, confirmation, one loss, one rant, and suddenly the whole league's orbiting around a story that started as frustration and exploded into full-blown prophecy. Only in the NFL could heartbreak flip into headline gold overnight. By midweek, the madness hits peak form. Sports shows are looping Shedeur's college highlights right next to Dillon Gabriel's missed throws, like someone's editing a breakup montage for ESPN. You'd swear this was a romantic drama called He Lost the Game, She Found the Future. And every time Shedeur drops a perfect spiral, the captions might as well say, meanwhile in the timeline where Minnesota made the right choice.
You're going to hear the analysts, they're going to tell you Dillon Gabriel did a great job. He handled the team well. And those of us that watched the game, we're not going to knock his back in, but we are going to tell the truth. Dillon Gabriel did exactly what he was told to do. Now, whether or not you think that was good or not, that's left to see. But what we can tell you is that the stats don't lie. They don't have opinions. They either are or they aren't. Dillon Gabriel was 19 for 33 in terms of complete.
Mary Kay Cabot's rant has officially become football scripture. Clips of her meltdown are stitched into TikToks with dramatic music, flashing headlines, and captions screaming, Cabot was right. The Vikings need Shedeur now. Sports talk radio's in full meltdown mode. Everyone's arguing like the season's on trial. Meanwhile, Dillon Gabriel, bless him, is still trying to stay cool. He's saying all the right things in pressers, keeping focused, working harder, doing his best to tune out the madness. But how do you block out a whole internet rooting for your replacement? The man could throw a 70-yard bomb tomorrow and someone would still comment, Shedeur would have made it look cleaner. He's not just battling defenders anymore, he's fighting perception. And Mary Kay, she's gone all in. It's beyond journalism now. It's pure performance art. She's got stats, timelines, even a full-blown Shedeur transition plan drafted like it's policy. This isn't reporting anymore, it's prophecy in motion.
Kevin Stefanski has elected to go with Dillon Gabriel at perhaps one of the worst matchups on the schedule. I'm sitting here watching the news and a lot of people are talking about, oh, it's Kevin Stefanski, he trusts Dillon Gabriel. If he was smart and he didn't want to ruin this rookie's chance of being any credible starter in the league whatsoever, going up against a Brian Flores defense is head-scratching to me. It's like Minnesota is at the top of the league for overall sacks. They get pressure like nobody's business.
And fans are eating it up. Some are crowning Mary Kay like she's leading a revolt. Others say she's tripping, but everyone's talking, and that's what counts because in the NFL, attention is oxygen, and this saga's breathing just fine. Then, like fate trolling the timeline, Shedeur drops an IG story, working out in Vikings-colored kicks. No caption, no comment, just a quick clip that lights up the feed. That's it, no speech, just sweat and purple gold sneakers. Dillon Gabriel could fix fumbles and win 2 straight, and it still wouldn't matter. Those Shedeur kicks already broke the internet. It's peak NFL theater. And somewhere Mary Kay Cabot, scrolling the chaos, vindicated. Because whether she meant it or not, she turned one Vikings loss into the season's loudest quarterback debate, and there's no walking it back. So drop your take in comments. Hit like if you're riding the chaos and subscribe. The next chapter lands soon.